Friday, November the 8th, bitches. Oh, a nap has been involved, but luckily not a very long one. Let's see if this helps. I didn't have my internet thingy up here. That's partially what I use for my light. Oh, fudgy duty. Yes. I slept. I even got to come home a half hour early today, so that was nice. I thought it was going to be maybe an hour, and then it wasn't, so that was disappointing, but still not a terrible night. I've definitely had much worse at work. And going through my movies over here in the drawers, there's a hell of a lot more than I thought, so this is going to be at least 3 more videos. I was going to try to do it in 2, and then have it be done in like 25, because you know that's a milestone number, you know, but that is not going to happen because I have quite a few left in the drawers to talk about. Now some of them are repeats, kind of like today's. I've got this pile right here, up in mature in my excuse me, peanut butter, up in my pile. But my shoulder, that's what I kept trying to say. Because even in this one, so some of these I'm going to go through quickly. 13 Ghosts, I have the VHS for that, and apparently this was bonus footage. Behind the scenes look at transforming actors into ghosts. So, if you want to know how they did that, I believe it's with makeup. Feel free. So yes, we've already seen the DVD version of this. I don't even know if that, is that not on Blu-ray yet? Maybe? I don't know. Deep Rising, I just talked about this one the other day, and it's the, you know, one of the fun horror movies. And Wrong Turn, I think I saw a set that we were selling. I know I saw a Phantasm set. It had like 5 movies in it. I'm like, when did this series get 5 movies? I don't know how many Wrong Turn has, but there again, fun stuff. Okay, now we get down to the nitty-gritty with Zombie Lake. A beautiful lake, tranquil, secluded, the idyllic swimming hole. One girl goes swimming. She's brutally ripped apart. Later, several girls take a swim, only to discover this is zombie turf. Hordes of grungy, rotty, worm-dripping undead strike again. One girl recognizes one zombie as her dearly departed soldier father. Hell if she's going to hug him. And once the taste for human flesh is reawakened, they want it, they crave it, they gotta have it. Don't go in the lake. Don't even go close. I feel like I bought this because it was one of those viewer discretion advised. This film contains violence, nudity, and sexual situations. So, be careful. Be careful. I feel like I bought this because it was mentioned somewhere in a list of like ridiculous films or whatever. I don't remember if I watched it or not, but I feel like Zombie Lake sounds familiar as something that was supposed to be one of those kind of like so bad it's good kind of films. And just by the description on the back, it sounds like maybe it's a little bit more tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, kind of like Tanya and I were talking the other day about, she did a video, which I'll link below for you, about the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. When I originally watched it, I just always assumed it was a horror movie, and she went into it with the right perspective that it's kind of a goofy kind of horror movie. So, I mean, I still liked it. It was kind of weird, you know, blah, 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 but I didn't really see it as a parody, I guess. I guess I was going into it expecting, you know, more of a horror movie, and didn't quite get that, you know. So kind of like maybe with this, like maybe it was supposed to be kind of goofy, funny, maybe not. I don't know. I don't recall watching it. So, and maybe not as good as far as goofy comedy horror movies go. Dead and Breakfast still my favorite goofy. I mean Shaun of the Dead's okay, I guess. Dead and Breakfast Dead and Breakfast wins the day for me. Every time. And then I have Identité. This is more of a kind of a supernatural thriller kind of thing, because you're not really sure what's going on until, you know, the very end, because there's these people who show up at this hotel, just seem to be like random strangers and blah 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 blah, and then like one by one they start to like just kind of disappear off the map, you know, and it's kind of like, okay, what's going on, you know, is somebody, you know, doing this, is some evil force doing this, blah 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 blah. So there's a good little mystery to it. I didn't see it coming at the end, I will say that. So yeah, there's kind of like a good little mix of characters. John Cusack's in this, if you enjoy John Cusack. And who else? Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet. I just like saying her last name. 2 thumbs up from Ebert and Roper. So yeah, I remember this being a good little watch, especially if you hadn't seen it before, and, you know, because it's a whole, like, you know, what's going on with these people, and, you know, where are they going, and blah 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 blah, that sort of thing. They soon realize that if they are to survive, they'll have to uncover the secret that has brought them all together. Oh, I guess it's a storm. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, they all end up at this hotel together, and they start, you know, disappearing / dying one by one. And, you know, what's going on? What's going on? You don't know. You don't know. And then we have... I went ahead and added Signs in here. This actually has one of the movie scenes that has stuck with me and creeped me out just enough. So spoilers if you haven't seen Signs, but there's this, and I think I've talked about this before. There's this scene at like this Mexican kid's birthday party, and they're filming this like a long shot down this like very tiny, skinny alleyway, and you know, they're like standing there like, oh my god, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, you know, like all you know is like there's just a bunch of people screaming, and they're filming down this alleyway, and then it goes quiet for a second, and then just as, you know, just after a little bit of silence, this skinny little alien thing goes right by the camera. Well, not right by the camera. He's at the end of the alleyway, but he like turns and looks at the camera as he goes by, and that fucking creeped the shit out of me. Like, I lived on campus at the time in my campus apartment, and I had to keep like looking at the door just to make sure like one of the things wasn't standing there looking at me, because that scene just got in my head. But yes, it's aliens and Mel Gibson fighting them, and what, you know, kind of things in the corn and whatnot, and blah 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 blah. Cornholes, or the other thing. What do they used to call them? Corn. I don't know. They found out that it was like somebody going out there and doing these with like planks of wood or something, and like knocking down the. It's like what are the imprints in the corn, whatever they called the imprints in the corn. I don't know. So this kind of takes that idea, and, you know, everybody knows aliens are abound, or aliens are about, and where are they, and are they going to get you? Are they going to get your children? Are they going to get a Happy Meal? I think anyone can, really. I don't even think they care. So, just do an order of Coke, right? Right. That's specific to the movie. Well, not specific to the movie if you haven't seen it, but shut up, me. You're rambling. What Lies Beneath? This is Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford in this exciting supernatural thriller Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer play a seemingly happy married couple who uncover a terrible secret, a secret so disturbing it threatens to destroy them. When Claire Spencer begins seeing ghostly images and hearing mysterious voices in their home, her husband Norman suspects it's just her imagination, until the images turn real. Now, together, they must uncover the truth, confront their worst fears, and find what lies beneath, with twisting and terrifying results. Does for bathtubs what Psycho did for showers. Not really, I suppose, because I don't really remember what happened in the bathtub. But, technically, showers and bathtubs are the same thing, but that's okay. I don't recall this movie very well. Well, that tagline says a little bit more than it should, I feel. So I'm not even going to read that. You can zoom in and read it if you want, I suppose. If you can you do that with my videos? I don't know. I guess if you download them and seal them off the internet and put them in video editing software, you can probably zoom in. I don't know. I remember being at least interested in the story, so I'm still gonna say that this one is worth a watch at the very least. I'm missing a movie, I feel like. Maybe not. Maybe I just didn't grab it out of there. But it's another kind of supernatural mystery kind of movie. And that's kind of what this was supernatural mystery kind of movie. I don't remember there specifically being a whole lot of scares in it, but it was definitely, I was interested enough in the story and the characters and the mystery that I did want to know what happened, what happened next. So I'll go ahead and say What Lies Beneath is at least worth a watch. I don't know, continual watching, I know. And now we have a chillingly original thriller, Phantoms. Peanut butter. Thrills and Chills, a heart-stopping, edge-of-your-seat thriller with a hot cast of rising stars. Phantoms is the latest from master of suspense Dean Koontz. 5 lone survivors in a devastated town must face the unthinkable, a ferocious force of evil lying below the earth for centuries. Is that proper English? And that's why it doesn't sound right to me, because I don't ever use proper English. Lying below the earth for centuries? I don't know. Has surfaced with the power to destroy every human being. Left behind are 2 sisters, the town sheriff, his deputy, and a noted tabloid journalist. You're in for a pulse-pounding experience as the survivors must race to stop this terrifying threat before it wipes mankind off the face of the earth. So this might also count as like a sci-fi action thriller kind of doodly-daddly. I don't really remember. I can't even tell you if I watched it or not. It sounds like an interesting enough premise. But that's this movie right here with Peter O'Toole, Rose McGowan, Joanna Going. I don't know where she's going, but I don't recognize her name. So after this, she must not have went anywhere. Liev Schreiber and Ben Affleck. Sorry, Joanna Going. That was rude. Truthful, but rude. Okay, so that's what these people are here and in this movie, doing this thing. Good for them. Okay, this one I remember being a little bit more on the comedy side of horror, but I did enjoy this movie, and there is supernatural elements, so I wanted to include it. The Frighteners. She's all 3D. I like it. In the sleepy little town of Fairwater, a monstrous evil has awakened, an evil so powerful its reach extends beyond the grave. Director Peter Jackson and executive producer Robert Zemeckis unleash a riveting thriller with the most spectacular special effects this side of the hereafter. I don't necessarily remember it being a thriller. I remember it being more of a comedy, but for Frank Bannister, Michael J. Fox, see there he is with some of his friends. I don't know if they remained friends after the movie, but at least for this narrative, they were. Death is a great way to make a living, ridding haunted houses of their unwelcome guests. But as it happens, he's in cahoots with the very ghosts he promises to evict. It's the perfect scam, until Frank finds himself at the center of a dark and terrible mystery. A diabolical spirit is on a murderous rampage, and the whole town believes Frank is behind it. Despite desperate to find the true culprit and exorcise his own personal demons, Frank crosses the ultimate barrier into a shadowy realm where even death can't stop a killer. Boasting music by Danny Elfman and co-starring Trini Alvarado, Jeffrey Combs, and John Austin, this supernatural chiller is so fiendishly entertaining, it's scary. And I do remember this being very entertaining. Like I said, I remember its needle was more on the comedy side than the horror side, but there was still enough of both, I suppose, to give me a little treat. So this is definitely, The Frighteners, I would say, is definitely worth a watch, even if it's more so comedy. There's a little bit of, a little bit of suspense and, like, what's going to happen, blah blah blah, that kind of thing, blah 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 as well. So I just remember it being, a very good time, a very interesting time, very worth a watch. So that's why I put that one here. And this one, I kind of love this one. I had to, and I don't even honestly remember it that well, but I do remember it was very entertaining. Once again, a very good time, for different reasons. It's not, I'm sure there's comedic moments, but The Relic, boop, boop, boop. It happens in it, like, there's this creature that takes over. I don't even know if it's supposed to be the Field Museum in Chicago, but that's where they filmed part of this movie. And I remember when I went there I probably talked about this in my video a couple years ago when Sean, Jen, and I went to the Field Museum. There's a scene in this where there's a fountain in the background. So when we were on senior trip in Chicago, I had to go sit on that fountain just so that I could say, every time I watch this movie, I can be like, I sat on that fountain. And I'm glad I did, because when that was in 1998. So if you want to do math and figure out how old I am, 39, then you'll figure that out. But yeah, I was on senior trip in 1998, and the fountain was there still. And I remember I asked the lady in the gift shop, like, where they filmed the movie. And of course, this is when I was young and impressionable and dumb. And I thought the people playing the Power Rangers were actual teenagers. Silly me. And she, the lady in the gift shop, she was like, well, she's like, they didn't film much of it here. She's like, they actually filmed most of it on a sound stage, like on sets, back in Hollywood or whatever. She's like, but there was a couple, because I was asking, I specifically remember that fountain in the background in one of the opening scenes, which I did sit on. So every time I watch this movie, every time you watch this movie, remember, I sat on that fountain. I was there. And so she was like, yeah, she's like, they filmed it mostly like on, a sound stage. So I was like, oh, okay, now I know how movie magic works. But when Sean and Jen and I went there a couple years ago, I never found that fountain. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if maybe, because we didn't get much time to spend at the Field Museum, because we were supposed to get up that day and be there, like, because we were like, okay, how early can we get on the bus? What time do they open? Blah, blah, blah. And of course that did not happen. We didn't get around, and it might have been because I overslept, and I'm just like, just wake me up. Shit, we're in Chicago. Let's go do some stuff. You can wake me up. It's fine. But, yeah, so we didn't, I don't even know if we got around the whole museum, or not. I know we only got through, like, one thing because we had to move on. I think we were going to the planetarium also that day. But anyway, I guess that's just kind of personal notes about The Relic and being in Chicago and being at the Field Museum and whatever. As far as the movie goes, because that's what you're here for, I do remember it being entertaining. I can't remember exactly what the creature was supposed to be. Come in if you dare. The opening night gala for a new exhibit at Chicago's Natural History Museum, is underway. But be advised, something terrifying wants to make sure no one ever leaves. Penelope Ann Miller, Tom Sizemore, Linda Hunt, and James Whitmore star in this effects-packed shocker that gives haunted house movies a terrific new setting. I don't think it was a ghost, though. I want to say it was like one of the exhibits they got in had like a creature in it or something, and that creature like started eating people and growing, or something like that. And the non-human star brought to head-ripping life by Jurassic Park winner Stan Winston is something no creature fan can let slip by. The creature can hold its own with the alien, writes Chicago Tribune critic Gene Siskel. When the last reel begins, the special effects is truly awesome. Let the panic begin. A thrill ride. Sometimes I don't like it when films compare themselves to other films, because then it's kind of like, I feel like that's like a weakness on the producer's part or somebody's part that they don't think their film can stand on its own. So they're like, make it sound like we're like an alien or whatever. Like, just make it sound like we're like, everybody likes the Alien films. Compare us to Alien, you know? And like, I feel like this film does enough, even though they never made a sequel, unfortunately. I feel like this film does enough to stand on its own because it's entertaining on its own. It's interesting enough on its own. It's, you know, it's just a fun ride. It's just a fun, you know, one of those things where, you know, a creature gets loose and starts eating people, you know, like. So as far as those films go, I guess this is one of the ones I would say is topper notch anyway for me personally. And so I would definitely say that The Relic is worth a watch, and I need to rewatch it because I don't remember it very well. I do remember liking it. It's one of my films that I, you know, highly regard in terms of, you know, films in general, I guess, and horror specifically. So I feel like this was you know, entertaining to me, even though I barely remember it. But at least I do remember seeing it, and I remember it enough to have an opinion on it. Kind of like our last two films. We're good here. The first one is Bless the Child, and this is a, you know, supernatural kind of religious kind of, you know, that little girl there is spellbinding. That's what they say here. I actually saw this on, Christina Ricci's in this movie. I didn't know that. Okay. Kim Basinger, who, that was a skit on a TV, or on a show, I don't know. They were trying to figure out how to say Kim, was it Family Guy? Did they do that? Kim Basinger? I actually saw this for free, as it turned out, because they came in and set up cable boxes one year in our dorm rooms on campus, and with those you had access to the pay-per-views. And this was a pay-per-view, and I was fully intending, like, I thought I would just get a check, or not a check, I thought I would just get like a bill at the end of the month or something, or, you know, somehow they put it on my account or whatever, I don't know. But I just assumed, I watched 3 or 4 movies on demand, and apparently the campus must have paid for it, I guess. I don't know, because I never got charged for it or anything, so I got to see this movie for free. Thank you. See, it was CMSU at the time, but not anymore. In the tradition of Sixth Sense and The Omen comes this riveting supernatural thriller filled with spine-tingling chills and white-knuckle suspense. Academy Award winner Kim Basinger stars as Maggie O'Connor, a single woman whose life revolves around her career as a nurse, until the surprise appearance of her sister Jenna and Jenna's newborn baby girl Cody. When Jenna suddenly disappears, Maggie is left to raise Cody, an autistic child, by herself. But after Jenna returns with a mysterious cult leader and abducts Cody, Maggie discovers that the child possesses extraordinary powers that forces of evil have waited centuries to control. I do remember there being a specifically good scene, and Robert, he was very religious in college, and he's still very religious now. I remember he called this, he thought this was a really good scene as well. So spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen the movie. But there's this scene on top of a rooftop. I think he's trying to get the little girl to jump, or whatever. and he's trying to like tempt her or something, and yeah, he's trying to like get her to jump off the building, and it doesn't go the way he plans, and it's kind of like one of those like, you know, one liner like, yeah, get him kind of moments. Um, but together with a FBI specialist in occult related crimes, Jimmy Smits, Maggie races to save the life of the innocent girl who may hold the key to save mankind or destroy it. Co-starring Christina Ricci and Ian Holm, Bless the Child is a thrilling offering for film fans. And I do remember this being entertaining, enjoyable from beginning to end. You know, so I would say Bless the Child, definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. And the last film is also definitely worth a watch. Going back, I probably should have done this one after The Relic, because I feel like this is a fairly similar kind of idea. I guess maybe this idea speaks to me. I don't know, because you know, I talk about, you know, romantic comedies and how they're all the same, but a lot of these films are a lot of the same too, because you have The Relic, and then you have Virus, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, before her Activia days, after her Halloween days, somewhere in between. William Baldwin, Donald Sutherland, the sci-fi thriller that literally takes the Frankenstein story to new heights and uncharted depths. Seeking refuge in the eye of a violent typhoon, the crew of a crippled salvage tug makes a potentially profitable discovery. A Russian military vessel, loaded with high-tech computer hardware worth millions in salvageable fees, appears abandoned by its crew. After restoring power to the ship, greedy Captain Everton, Donald Sutherland, and his investigator Kit, Jamie Lee Curtis, encounter a lone scientist, scared, almost, to death. She begs them to turn the ship's power back off, but is it too late? The haggard tug crew has no idea that an alien life form holding the ship hostage not only feeds on electricity, but thrives on developing new ways of killing the virus on Earth known as man. Who will dominate in a fight to the death against a horrifying new strain of evil? So, yeah, you get, you know, evil alien, blah, 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 kind of thing, you know, very, I guess, on a ship, like Ghost Ship. Deep Rising was also on a ship. Virus was also on a ship. There were a lot of movies around that time, on ships. Titanic! Did Titanic do that? Titanic. Virus. I wonder if that's what it was. Sort of like, everybody else likes this movie about a ship. We should make all of our horror movies on ships now. Titanic effect. Maybe. But there again, this was another one of those kind of, you know, popcorny, you know, I mean, just a bunch of people trapped on a ship. You know, it's a very similar narrative, I guess, of people trapped in a museum with a creature, people trapped on a ship with the creature. Excuse me. Who survives? Who doesn't? Jamie Lee Curtis probably does, at least till the end. You'd think, right? I mean, basically, if their face is on the front of the fucking thing, you know, probably. It's just kind of one of those fun, like, you know, creature feature romps, I guess. So, Virus, also worth a watch. So, quite a few here today that I rather enjoyed. So yeah, there you go. At least it was, you know, more maybe actual horror movie than, you know, the thrillers that I was showing off yesterday. I don't know. I'll debate that with myself till the end of time, I think. What I consider, like, why I let it line. I don't know. But anyway, Mom is going to be in town this weekend, I think. Plans may have changed. Plans did change. With Marilee and Tiffany. So I don't know if Mom's still going to come down, or welcome my new ice to the world, by the way. That's what that was. That's what Mom's coming down this weekend. I thought I might need more ice, so I thought I should turn this on. Not thinking I was going to be making a video and it would interrupt me. But yeah, so I don't know if she's still coming down or not. If I do my video early enough, instead of waiting until almost noon, or or what was it, 4 or 5 o'clock like I did yesterday, I should still be able to maybe pump one of these out tomorrow. I don't know about Sunday, so there may be one day this weekend where I don't end up producing one of these, but there should be at least 2 videos left, maybe 3. I guess we'll find out. There's a lot in there, a lot more than I thought. I actually had more movies today, but I put some of them back because I'm like, I'm gonna make at least 3 more videos instead of just 2. I was trying to hit that 25. You know, I guess the anal retentive thing in my brain, stop at 25. So now there's going to be 26 or 27. So it's going to be like weird. It's not going to end on like a, you know, number. You know, because there's like the 25th anniversary, 50th anniversary. I guess 75th anniversary doesn't really get that. You know, after that, it's you got to get all the way to 100 before people make a big deal out of it again. You know, but those are like the big. You know, I said it at the beginning of the video when Minxie jumped up in my face. I can't remember the word that I'm looking for. You know, and probably won't, but I'll probably say it maybe over the next few days, over the next few videos. So anyway, but yeah, I don't know for sure if I'll get a video out both days this week or not, because I assume if Mom comes down this weekend, she's going to be spending the night, so Sunday we'll probably, you know, I'll be spending time with her if she's here, so, and she probably won't leave until later that day, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I guess, you know, it's after Halloween now, so I guess this thing will end when it ends. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm trying to get done before Halloween's over or anything. We're halfway almost. Is it halfway almost through turkey time already? Shit. I don't even know where the days are going. But anyway, the days of our lives. Yeah. All right. I'm rambling. You don't care. And I'll see you for what I see.